Hello and welcome to Safe and Secure Retirement Television. I'm Sarah Peterson, here with Jordan Flowers of Wealth Financial Services and Tax Advisors. Good to see you.
Great to be with you today, Sarah.
I'm thrilled to be here with you and talk about your retirement roadmap. I love this term because I am all about the maps these days. We're taking road trips. 2020 was the year of the road trip, and I certainly know without the map, I'd have no idea where I was.
You need to know where you're at to know where you gotta go. I took a road trip myself in 2020. It's great to explore places you normally wouldn't go to. A lot of my clients in 2020 and 2021, they went homeless actually. Not because they ran out of money, but because they sold their home and they're RVing across America, you know? So it's kind of cool to see them send pictures back. But for our retirement process, we call it our Safe and Secure Retirement Roadmap, which is basically a process to show people where they're at today, what direction they're heading, and how they can truly have a safe and secure retirement. So we try to guide people, show them the roadmap process to make sure that they're doing the very best things for their family, and they're covering lots of different areas. And I'll just break it down real briefly for us, Sarah. Our roadmap is actually divided into 5 sections, and I'll kind of highlight that here. The first section is our income plan, where we look at everyone's assets and see how can we create a successful income plan by maximizing their Social Security, by looking at maybe their pension benefits and seeing how we can maximize the best strategy for pensions if they have a pension. Or a lot of people have a lot of money in 401ks or IRAs, and it's grown very well the last few years. But how does the game change when you stop working and now they got to distribute those assets? How is that going to affect them from a tax liability standpoint? So we create that income plan to really show them how the best way to maximize their income, but also minimize their tax liability. One other step we look at is people's risk. You know, a lot of times you're on a road trip, okay? Say you're driving across the country. Do you want to take that Ferrari and go 250 miles an hour and just risk that you might crash or get a huge ticket? Or did you want to ride in that Hummer that you don't care what potholes are around the way, you are going to get to your destination? Well, we as a firm believe we have a Hummer approach, okay? We're not trying to make people 30, 40, 50% each and every year. We want to make competitive returns, but we want to make sure if there's a market pothole, you know, a correction, or if there's something that happens in the world, that our clients aren't going to be derailed, that they're going to get to their destination no matter what. So we evaluate our clients' risk and make sure they're not taking too much risk, and also analyze their fees to make sure they're paying their fair share and not $1 more, okay? Because some people have no idea what they're paying in fees, and I don't know about you, Sarah, but when you go grocery shopping, do you look at the prices before you put things in your cart, or do you just, you know, just throw things in the cart?
Coupon clipping, look at the ad before. I have 4 kids, so there's a lot of budgeting.
That's a lot of groceries right there.
Exactly, they eat a lot.
Yeah, you look at the price before you put it in the cart, and same with people's fees. A lot of people have these mutual funds, and they have these investments or sometimes variable annuities, and they have no idea what they're paying. So we want to make sure that we evaluate the fees that they're currently paying, see if we can maybe minimize them, or maybe even tell them you're in a good place. But we just want to look at their fees, look at their risk, and make sure that we can enhance whatever they're doing. And I mentioned before, minimizing taxes. That's actually the next step in our roadmap. Tax planning. Our tax is going to go up, our tax is going to go down. I would strongly say that taxes have to go up. We got stimulus, we got national debt. We have to pay the taxes at some point. And the wealth in America is in baby boomers. And where do baby boomers have a lot of their assets? In 401ks, in IRAs. And that money hasn't been taxed. So we want to make sure we have a tax plan to weed out Uncle Sam and the IRS to give more to our clients and more to our clients' beneficiaries. So having a tax plan is just as vital as having an investment plan, because it's not what you make, it's what you actually get to keep.
What you keep is so important. And talking about baby boomers and sort of younger generations, I mean, retirement can seem like a daunting concept. I think people think, oh, I'll just wait and I'll push it and I'll punt it down the line.
Yeah.
But that's not the case anymore, because if if we don't plan properly, there's so many things that can come back to bite us in the end.
Absolutely. And I think as humans, human nature, we procrastinate. That's just who we are. Oh, we can wait. We can do that tomorrow. We can do that tomorrow. Well, tomorrow in life flies by very fast. I don't know how many times I have a client that comes in the office like, just enjoy the ride while you're younger, because, man, retirement, I never thought I'd be working 35 years at the same company, and here I am retiring. I have all those relationships and all those friends, and time flies by fast. So we want to make sure that we have a plan, that we don't procrastinate, and make sure that our client's in the best place possible. So the next step in our roadmap actually is estate planning, because some clients have planned very well, and they have done very well for themselves in their investment accounts. But what good is all that planning, all that growth, if you don't have an exit strategy, if you don't have an estate plan? Who do you want your money to go to? Do you want it to go to the probate courts? Do you want it to go to the IRS? Or do you want it to go to who you name as a beneficiary? And I think this segment, we can kind of elaborate a little bit more on that. But the other step in our roadmap process, the last step, is healthcare planning. Because the statistics are, 50% of us at some point of our life are going to need some long-term care benefits. And we had friends that in their 30s, they had strokes. We have people, things happen while you're even younger. You want to make sure that you have a plan for disability, for long-term care, to make sure that your family's always covered and not all of your assets will be wiped out to 5-10 years in a long-term care facility. There's a lot of steps you can take now to prevent against that. Also, I think it's like 10,000 people a day are turning 65. And when you turn 65, that's time to file for Medicare. So I'm not a Medicare specialist, but inside our office, we have a Medicare specialist that really helps our clients find the best plans to fit their coverage. And then he reviews all of our clients' plans every single year, because some of these insurance companies, they raise their rates every year. And if you're not careful, you could pay more than you really have to. So we try to have that comprehensive one-stop shop approach and create that safe and secure retirement roadmap.
Well, the only thing constant is change, right? So we have to be able to properly prepare. And if you have the right roadmap, if I made the wrong turn, then I know which way I need to go to get back on track.
Absolutely. But first, you got to know where you are today, and then we can hopefully guide you for the future.
To your point about retirement estate planning, I've noticed that a lot of people that I talk to don't even know who their beneficiaries is. And this is so important.
It is. And things change in life. Your kids aren't really kids anymore. They're adults. They get married, they have grandchildren.
Sure.
And when things change in your life, you need to review your beneficiaries. Sadly, there was a story in the news. I forget which article it was, but this gentleman had a beneficiary, and it was actually his brother. Okay, then he got married. Okay, and 30 years later, they're about to retire, and that gentleman passed away. And he got married. His wife goes to claim. She's like, "Oh, this is going to be my beneficiary. We saved for 30 years to have a great retirement." Suddenly, he passed away. Okay, I'm going to take the funds and put it in my name. He did not change the beneficiary. The funds went to the brother. And guess what? The brother and his wife, they did not get along.
Oh, Lord.
So she took him to court. They tried to fight it out. And the reality is, the court said the named beneficiary was the brother. So even though she sacrificed for 30 years to kind of save for retirement, then he tragically died, all that saving, all that time, and all that money went to, he called the evil brother that kind of cashed in the check and did not give it to the spouse. And it's just really sad when you see things like that.
And it's so easily avoidable, right?
So easy. You just got to sign. You don't know what you don't know. You got to review your beneficiaries and make sure that when things change in life, marriage, divorce, things occur, you got to make sure that your legal documents are changed as well.
So I'm guessing there's somebody out there who is listening thinking, I don't remember the last time I changed my beneficiary. So if they're ready to make that next step and make that phone call, what is it that you're offering today?
Sure. For many people, they have a lot of questions for their retirement. Like, when's the best time to take Social Security? Can I get my beneficiaries reviewed? How can I make sure that I avoid the next market correction? We can answer those questions and so much more when we create your own safe and secure retirement roadmap. If you're serious about your retirement and your family's financial future, I urge you to call 866-499-3454, and I will sit down with you and help you design the roadmap for you and your family.
And you can get on the road too. Can you take a road to Hawaii? That's another question.
We might have to take a flight for that.
866-499-3454. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back with some more retirement strategies.
Hi, I'm Jordan Flowers. I've been with the Wealth Financial Services and Tax Advisor for over 15 years. I grew up in the Chicagoland area, and I've lived here ever since. As a fiduciary firm, we take a personal interest in making sure that you are taken care of. How do we do this for our clients? Well, we create for you a personalized retirement income plan so you see exactly where you're at, where you're going, and how we can get you there more effectively. I will show you your safe and secure retirement roadmap, an income plan to maximize your income but also minimize your taxes. And we'll talk about what we may recommend and see if you're comfortable with the risk we're proposing. Depending on what your needs and your goals are and how simple or complex you would like me to go over the plan, I will curtail it to you personally. Some people like to go into the details, and I'm happy to do that. Some people just want to know that they're going to be okay. My goal is to make sure you have a safe and secure retirement, and whether we want to go into more details or less details, I want to make sure you're comfortable with whatever decision and whatever plan we implement. If you're focusing on your investments every single day, you're not enjoying the longest vacation of your life. Make sure that your risk is in line with what your goals are. When someone becomes a client of ours, we take that very seriously, and we look forward to working with them and their family for generations to come.
Hello and welcome back to Safe and Secure Retirement Television. I'm here with Jordan Flowers, and we're talking about the road to retirement.
Absolutely.
Making a plan, so important. And somebody, my age and the 40, blah, 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 we don't need to get into specifics, but we're starting to really realize that it's happening earlier and earlier where we need to make these plans because there's just so many different divergences that could happen.
Yeah.
And someone like myself that has a big family, we really want to make sure that we leave them a legacy and not a tax burden down the line.
A lot of things are changing rapidly. As we get older, time seems to fly by even faster. So planning sooner than later and not procrastinating is vital to make sure that your wishes are actually carried out. So we want to make sure we always create a plan before we give even advice. If we thought we were immortal, I think 2020 showed us for sure that we are not. And so I think a lot of people are now thinking about life insurance where they didn't before. And they're thinking about also long-term health care. These are topics that maybe we didn't want to visit, but were. The hard reality kind of came to light, and so many people were sick, and we had the pandemic. But having a life insurance policy, you got to kind of change the way that you think about it, because I think many people, when they hear life insurance, they think, it's a bad word. I don't want life insurance. That means it's not going to benefit me. It's going to only benefit my beneficiaries. But the new life insurance that's out there can cover many different variety of things that can actually benefit you while you're still living. You don't necessarily have to die to win when it comes to life insurance. And just to I always love taxes because we have a tax practice in our office. Who doesn't love taxes? Oh yeah, I know. I'm kind of a geek. I talk about taxes almost every day. But I think taxes and tax plans are so vital right now. And life insurance actually falls into section 7702 of our tax code. It's that provision for life insurance. And you guys got to think about, when you look at these ultra wealthy people, when you look to people that write the laws, why do they have a lot of life insurance? Is there some reason behind that? They understand, because they wrote the laws, that is tax-free. It has huge tax ramifications. So for some people, you might want to consider life insurance to benefit you while you're still living. I'll give you an example of a client I had come in, probably would have been over a year now, probably a year and a half from now. She came in and she had this old life insurance policy. She's like, my kids are successful. I don't really need this anymore. Jordan, what should I do? Should I just cash it out? And I looked at the policy, and she was still paying a few $1,000s. I think it was like $10,000 a year in this policy. And I'm like, well, let's review it. We looked at the policy, and based on her goals and what she wanted to accomplish, she didn't need to have that life insurance policy. But in conversation, because I like to get to know people before we actually make a recommendation, she was super concerned about long-term care. Okay. So we reviewed her policy, and we actually showed her how we can move the money. It's called a 1035 exchange, move it from a life insurance contract to another specially designed life insurance contract that had long-term care benefits. So she actually stopped paying any premiums in any life insurance, and now she has $19,000 a month of long-term care benefits. Wow. Stop paying it, got a better policy just by simply coming into our office, getting it reviewed, and we showed her how we could enhance and really cover that concern for long-term care, so now she doesn't have that worry.
So is there a certain time of life that is there the right time to start thinking about life insurance policy?
Yesterday. Honestly, we aren't getting any younger, right? We're getting older. I never ask a woman her age. I always ask the date of birth, okay? Or I ask for a copy of the driver's license. But we never want to, we got to make sure that we're not waiting till it's too late, because life comes at us fast. And what if we have a major medical event and we can't get life insurance? Or as you get older, life insurance can be more and more expensive. So the sooner you start, I recommend today. We can't do yesterday. We got to focus on today and getting this done. See if you even get approved. Some people have a great plan. We show them how we can enhance it, but something comes up in life. Maybe they had cancer. Maybe it's something they didn't know about, which is good that we figured it out so we can get fixed. But if we can't get it, that's okay. We kind of tweak the plan. That's why we have the plan. But starting sooner is beneficial, because you never know what tomorrow may hold.
I think that that's the case in most areas of our lives, but financial planning particularly, right? And there's nothing really more personal you can deal with. The two things, medical and financial, right?
It's huge.
So you're getting really intimately involved in everybody's lives and realizing, like you said, that your needs are going to be different than mine, or going to be different than someone else. So important to have a very individualized plan.
Correct. And you mentioned there about learning and education, and this is one thing that I just wish they taught in schools, like simple budgeting, making sure that kids are a little bit of planning goes a long way, and starting sooner. The best place to start is, even in high school or even before that, make sure these kids are educated on our tax brackets, how they work. I literally had a call yesterday from a client, and they're like, hey, what if I get a raise and I hit the next tax bracket? I'm like, congrats, because it's okay if you go $1 over the next tax bracket. Only those few dollars over the next tax bracket will be taxed at the higher rates. Not everything's going to be taxed at the higher rates. So by educating the youth and educating the next few generations is going to set them up for financial success. Another thing I'll mention, that sometimes we have a lot of clients and they refer their kids to us almost all the time. And the kids are a little younger, obviously, and they have some more time on their side. So we show sometimes the kids different strategies that maybe using life insurance to grow assets in, because they have a longer time horizon, and then take those assets out tax-free. So life insurance, the specially designed.
Is there a certain age where you're able to start pulling from that?
It depends. I mean, you can do it for people in their 50s or 60s.
Wow.
But the one thing is, if you start younger, say you want to retire earlier, there is no age restriction. Because like a 401k or an IRA, you can't take it out before 59 and a half, or have a 10% penalty. Or specially designed life insurance, say you want to retire at 53. You could take money out of that tax-free and not have any penalty.
Wow.
So it gives people more flexibility. Sometimes we position it for college planning, because when they file for FAFSA or different things, if they see so much cash, you don't get different grants. But if you move it into a specially designed life insurance, that money is still growing for you, but it gets more grants for the children. So there are so many things that we can do and be creative with. But if you're looking at tax efficiency, you got to consider life insurance. Don't think it's a bad two words, okay? You got to use it for the tax benefits, or at least consider it or review your current policy.
So Jordan, what about the people out there that are listening and thinking, I have this advisor I've worked with and he's never discussed any of these things with me?
Yeah.
This is a good opportunity for them to get a second opinion. And it's okay, maybe what they've done before is right, and maybe it's not, but that's something that you could review.
Absolutely. A lot of people, when I first see them, they got like an insurance advisor over here sometimes, or they got a financial advisor, which really only does investments. Then they have a CPA over here. Then they have a Medicare guy over here. It's like they're all scattered, and they ask the same person 4 questions, and they get 4 different answers, and that creates confusion in our industry. We like the comprehensive one-stop shop approach. So we want to make sure that we're looking at all the details. We handle everything for our clients. And if they don't do insurance, if they don't do tax planning, you're missing out on a lot of value. So make sure, for whoever you're working with, that they are a comprehensive planner. Not just focus on investments or focus on insurance, that they're focused on the big picture, because that's the only way to get you in the best place possible. You look at teams. I like sports. You can't just have an offense. You need to have a defense as well. You need the full team approach to win the game.
And our lives have become so complicated as it is, and so busy. So to be able to go to one person who can comprehensively look at everything and take care of it all, it would give people a lot of peace of mind. And what you're offering is complimentary, which will also give them peace of mind, because a lot of people, they charge $1,000 or more for something like this.
I love helping people. You know, people have a lot of questions when they first come and see me. You know, when's the best time to take Social Security? How can my life insurance be enhanced? How can I ensure that I don't take a big market hit if the market has a correction? We can answer those questions and so much more when we can create your safe and secure retirement roadmap personalized for you and your family. All you have to do is call 866-499-3454. If you're serious about your financial future, please give us a call, and I would look forward to sitting down with you personally and helping you benefit your family.
We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk more about tax efficiency strategies.
As a good saver, you've been putting away money during your working years. Studies find that the biggest fear of retirees is running out of money. Market volatility isn't just the downward movement of stock prices, it's the size and frequency of change. The more dramatic the ups and downs, the higher the volatility. This can put savers who are newly retired or a few years away from being retired at greater risk. Today's generation of retirees is not receiving traditional pensions as our parents or grandparents did. Instead, we have retirement accounts such as 401ks or 403bs. These accounts typically expose your money to market risk. The last thing you want right before retirement is to lose a portion of the money you need for income. But how do you turn these accounts into a retirement income? Is it safe to keep all your retirement money sitting in the stock market? The last thing you want is to lose a portion of the money you need for income due to market loss. By working with a financial professional, you can learn how to turn a portion of your savings into an income stream for life and income for the life of your spouse if you're married. We all have moments in our lives when we wish we had taken action sooner. Don't let procrastination reign on your retirement parade. Act now before it's too late. Please call our office to set up your no-cost, no-obligation retirement income review today.
Hello and welcome back to Safe and Secure Retirement Television. I'm Sarah Peterson here with Jordan Flowers. We have so much ground to cover still in such a short period of time. You mentioned before the need to be tax diversified, and I just wanted you to clarify that.
Yeah, so a lot of people think they're diversified if they have stocks or bonds or mutual funds, but that's all great. But if those are all in IRAs, you're not tax diversified. That's just as important. So we like to make sure that our clients know the ramifications of their taxable accounts. I usually have buckets when I give a live presentation, but there's a taxable bucket where if you pay any taxes, maybe in dividends or interest, any year you have those dividends or interest, you got to pay taxes on it. For some people that have a CD, which is like a certificate of disappointment these days, you make a little bit of interest in there, but you still got to pay taxes on that little bit of interest, diminishing your return if it's in a taxable bucket. But then there's a tax-deferred bucket, and that's traditional 401ks or IRAs, and that money, you got a tax deduction when you put the money in that bucket, but it's grown and grown and grown, and any dollars you take out of that tax-deferred bucket, you got to pay taxes. And our tax rate's going to be higher or lower. I'm thinking
crystal
a lot.
ball.
Yeah, I don't even need a crystal ball. They're going to be higher, okay? So we want to make sure that we prepare our clients and maybe move some money out of that tax-deferred bucket into a tax-free bucket. And there's a couple of different things we can use for that. One is using specially designed life insurance. We talked about earlier in our segment. A lot of our clients have a lot of money in life insurance, and they can take hundreds of thousands of dollars out each and every year and not pay a single dime in taxes. You don't know what you don't know. You got to use the tax laws and use life insurance to your benefit. Another strategy is a Roth conversion or having a Roth IRA. You can take, again, hundreds of thousands of dollars out of a Roth IRA and not pay a single dime in taxes. It's super powerful, and it's not too late. Some people are watching and they'll say, I don't have a Roth. We can review your plan and we can convert to a Roth. There is no income restrictions if we convert to a Roth. So don't think I'm no longer working, I can't do a Roth. We can still do a Roth. Pay the taxes today on sale or wait till tax rates are higher. The choice is theirs, but I want to make sure they pay them while they're on sale.
Yeah. I mean, now is the time. I think we don't need a crystal ball for that. I really want to briefly talk about investing. From an investment standpoint, what are some options people have right now?
Yeah, so just really quickly, you got your safe money, your CDs, you can checking accounts. Not going to lose any money, but you're definitely not going to make any money. Then some people say, oh, I want to put my money in the market. And stocks can do a lot of gains and a lot of good, but they also have a lot of volatility and you can lose money. That includes equities or ETFs. One thing that I'm not a big fan of is bonds. And a lot of people, they have target date funds, and as they get older, they shift more money into bonds. And today, we have such a low interest rate environment. If interest rates rise, your bond portfolio is going to get hammered. So some people are like, oh, I'm 70-30, or now I'm like 40-60. It's like, that doesn't mean you're out of risk. That's still 100% in my book at risk. So we want to make sure we diversify. One investment I just want to briefly touch upon that is still a risk investment, but I like a little bit better than bonds, is usually in specially designed structured notes. Most time when I talk to a client, they've never usually heard the term. And there's over $2 trillion in structured notes, which are issued by banks, and there's a lot of different variety of them. But the ones that I use for my clients give an income guaranteed of, say, 7 to 13%, which I think, considering today's interest rates, that's phenomenal.
Absolutely.
Okay, but let's just say guarantee they give you 10% for a 1-year period of time. Full disclosure, there is risk. The risk is if the market dips more than 30%, you could lose some money. So they have some level of risk. But say hypothetically you put money in this month, and next year, this month, the market's up and down, but say it's down 28%. Well, you didn't lose a dime, and you made that 10% interest, which is pretty powerful in that note. But what's a worst case scenario? Because they still have risk. What if you put your money in this month, and next year, at the same time, the market's down 35%? Well, then you lost 35% of that investment, but you got the guarantee of 10, so you lost 25%. So what if the market's flat for the next few years? You want to still make money on your money, and there's no interest rate risk, but it's just a great way to diversify your overall portfolio and something unique that I don't think many people have really heard of today. So,
and like you said before, people's level of risk might be different in various stages of life. So maybe at my 40 blah, blah, blah stage of life, I'm willing to take a little bit more risk than I would be down the line. So certain investments will be more appropriate.
It depends on each and every individual, but I just like to always educate someone on the pros and the cons, because there's pros and cons to every investment, before we decide to actually implement a strategy.
Let's tell the viewers who are tuning in, I just really want them to know how special this is, this retirement roadmap, what it is that you're offering today.
So just for the viewing audience, I would like you to picture a day where for certainty you are maximizing every single dollar and minimizing the tax liability on those dollars. Picture a day where your grandchild comes up and says to you, Grandma, Grandpa, it's so nice to see you enjoying your retirement. You look so happy. Picture a day where for a fact that your money and your retirement is safe and secure. Whether you have $500,000, $1 million, or $5 million, we can create a safe and secure retirement roadmap to cover all your concerns. I believe you deserve a safe and secure retirement, so you don't have to pay $1 more in taxes than you have to. I believe you deserve a safe and secure retirement, so you're not going to be subject to the market corrections. I believe you deserve a safe and secure retirement, so you can focus on your greatest asset, your family, and your friends. I believe everyone watching today deserves a safe and secure retirement. I hope I can be your guide on your road trip of retirement for the future. So if you are serious about meeting with me and helping your family, please call 866-499-3454. I can't wait to meet you and get to know you better.
Jordan, I love your passion, and I can't wait to see where the road takes us on the next show.
I like that. Thank you so much, Sarah.
Thanks for being here. See you soon.